Shaitan has a strategy for every phase of our failure. Like he doesn't cause a human being to fail in one step. He wants the human being to fail in subtle stages, right? So in the beginning, his job is to make something really bad seem not so bad. So even if it's a major sin and it's something totally evil, he'll say, come on, you're just human. Everybody does this. It's okay, you just slipped up. It's okay, you're going through a lot, so it's understandable. Like he'll pat you on the back, he'll support you, he'll comfort you, he'll try to give you these thoughts in your head that what you're doing is not that bad, or maybe just don't think about it. Just why can't you just be happy for once? Just be happy. Pick the drink up. It's okay. You know, you're going in so much stress. This is the least you can do. You know, it's their fault. It's your uncle's fault. It's your friend's fault. It's her fault. It's his fault. That they made you do this. It's not you. It's somebody else who made you do this. So he feeds you all this stuff where it's not me. It's somebody else who's making me do it. You know, so it's their fault. It's really not mine. They're the reason that I'm falling into this haram or this evil, and this is why I'm lashing out, and this is why I am the way I am. And so once he does that, then it becomes easy for you and me to take whatever wrong action we were going to take. If we fall into that trap, if you fall into that kind of thinking, because honestly, the real danger isn't the wrong action. The real danger is the thinking that happens before that action. The Quran gave us guidance on our thoughts. This is why the Quran emphasizes a lot, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Don't you use your intellect? The thought process that we engage in every day, the thoughts that we have every day, Allah guides them. Because if you don't guide your thoughts, the next thing that will happen is misguided behavior. The actions will be misguided. So this thought process, the shaitan is very good at filling your head with this thought process, and you can accept it or reject it, just like junk mail, or just like ads that you don't want to watch. You can choose to click on it and engage, or you can ignore it. The thought will come, but you have to have the ability, and I have to have the ability to dismiss that thought, to do away with that thought. But if you don't do away with that thought, and that scenario is, okay, you know what, it's not that big of a deal, it's somebody else's fault, and you and I fall into the wrong trap. We end up doing the wrong thing. Then, the next thing that happens is one of two. Shaitan has scenarios. In military strategy, they say we're going to make this attack. If A happens, then we'll have this strategy. If B happens, we'll have this strategy. So Shaitan knows that not all human beings respond to failure or sin the same way. Some people fall into sin and then they become addicted to sin and they keep on doing it. So he's like, well, this guy's on autopilot, so I don't have to worry about this anymore. He's doing my job for me. She's doing my job for me, so she can just carry on, right? There are other people who do sins continuously, but at one point or another, they wake up. And this is a problem for Shaitan. This is a real problem for him. Why? Because this person was paving their way towards failure, so they can meet Allah Azza wa Jal in loss, and now all of a sudden they've woken up and they feel bad about what they did. This is not a good thing. This is the first sign that this person wants to return back to Allah. So what does he do with this person? What is Shaitan going to do with this man or woman who decided to wake up, or who Allah put something in their heart and they woke up and they feel horrible? Well, Shaitan has a plan B and C. And his plan B is to now instill you with hopelessness. Now he can tell you, hey, you messed up so much. You're such a terrible human being. Look at all the people you hurt. Look at all these years you've been doing these sins. There's no worse person than you. Why would Allah listen to you? Why would He ever guide you? In fact, you're already in hell. You deserve hell already. And you deserve to be in this mental torture so long as you're alive. I don't even know why you're still alive. These are the thoughts that will fill in your head. Regret over your sin, which is actually, spiritually speaking, a healthy thing. Iblis can turn that into an unhealthy thing. He can turn that into an overwhelming sense of, Allah will never forgive me. Oh, and then you have this attitude. If you talk to somebody, you say, I feel like Allah will never forgive me. No, why wouldn't Allah forgive you? Oh, you don't know what I've done. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. If you knew, you would know that. Even you would tell me you're going to hell. So this thought process is the next success of Shaitan. Why? Because Shaitan is the master of hopelessness. So before your sin, he wants to make you think it's no big deal. After your sin is done, he wants to convince you it's too big of a deal, Allah will never forgive you. There's no hope for you, right? So, and then he can get somebody trapped in that, and a person can start hating themselves, being miserable. And by the way, misery, hating yourself, crushing yourself, yeah, and having this kind of viral negativity that's inside you, it spreads to the people around you too. It doesn't just stay with you, right? He loves this. This is what he absolutely loves. We cannot make assumptions about Allah. So let me just backtrack for a second. When a person says, I know Allah won't forgive me, I just know it, Allah won't forgive me, they've said something about Allah as if they know, right? And where did they get the confirmation for a fact that Allah won't forgive them? Oh, I just have a feeling. It's in my heart, I just know it. Really? You get revelation now? You get wahi that Allah won't forgive you? You and I don't get to speak on behalf of Allah and override how He speaks about Himself. Does He have something to say about this that overrides what you and I are thinking? So let's first take the scenario of sinful people. One of the most sinful people mentioned in the Quran, if not the most sinful person, would be Fir'aun. I often say, jokingly, but sounds pretty serious too, Shaitan would want his autograph. This guy is serious, right? I mean, if there's any crime that you can think of committing against Allah and against humanity, Fir'aun is your role model for evil, right? And Fir'aun, you would think, so many sins and so many murders and so much arrogance, later he should be at a point of no return. There's no way this person can be redeemed. There's no way this person should have a chance at forgiveness. This person should just be destroyed. That's all there should be. But when Allah sent Musa alayhi salam to Fir'aun, He didn't send Musa alayhi salam to Fir'aun to destroy Fir'aun, to punish Fir'aun. In fact, Allah sent him to Fir'aun to remind Fir'aun. And then He said there's potential he could actually maybe even be affected by this reminder, and he might even become a God-fearing person. لَعَلَّهُ يَذَّكَّرْ أَوْ أَنْ يَخْشَى. Now that's pretty wild. Because a person who's literally killed babies, who's enslaved entire nations, who's declared himself a god, who meets every check for, highway to hell. If you check marks every category, this guy's the number one candidate for the kind of person who should be in hell. And Allah tells Musa alayhi salam, after all of those crimes and years of them, Allah tells Musa alayhi salam about this old man. By the way, Fir'aun is an old man. So it's not like, oh, he's young, he can change. No, he's lived a whole life of doing this stuff. And you know what we say about old people? They're set in their ways. It's too late for them. They are how they are. How can they ever change? And Allah tells Musa alayhi salam, even there's a possibility he can benefit from the reminder, and he might become somebody fearful. Even though we know how the story turns out, these words are important, aren't they? Allah is telling us something not just about Fir'aun, but about human beings. You could have done and the kinds of sins, the kinds of bad, that it shakes you to even talk about it. Like you're so embarrassed by it, you can't even talk to another person about it. That's how bad it is what you did. That's how embarrassing it is. That's how humiliated you are even inside yourself. Shaitan's got you so good, you even have a hard time telling Allah, opening up to Allah about it. And even if you do, the moment you open up to Allah, you're like, I really did this? How can I even be talking to Allah? Why? I sound so stupid. Allah is not going to forgive me. Just look at what I've done. Look at what kind of person I am. And Allah Azza wa Jalla does not allow a human being to give up hope on themselves. He doesn't do that. He didn't even give that seal onto Fir'aun. So I pray that Allah Azza wa Jalla helps us come out of that cycle of negativity, those of us that are suffering from it, and those of us that may be suffering from it silently. They haven't told anybody. They're too ashamed to tell anybody. Maybe these words can be of some benefit to them, that they can find that there's a way for them to come back to Allah and really find a way to honor themselves again. Allah has honored human beings, and Shaitan wants to see us humiliated. And if Allah has honored human beings, just like I need to honor you and honor you and honor you, I also have to honor myself. It's not okay for me to humiliate myself either. Don't degrade yourself. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us those who honor others and honor ourselves for what Allah has given us, and allow us a way back to make healthy tawbah to Him.